Hello everyone, I am Zahra, and today I would like to introduce a book that really changed my perspective about teaching materials or course book. The first time I heard about course book, I just think that it was just a handbook or the main book for teaching in a class. But after reading this book, I realized that teachers actually cannot choose course book carelessly. We need to understand inside this book and is it suitable materials for our student or not, because every student has a different needs, different abilities, and also different learning style, and that is exactly what this book talks about. Now let me tell you a little bit about the background of this book. The title is Choosing Your Coursebook Handbook for the English Classroom, published at Macmillan Education, 1995, and the book is written to help teachers or student teachers and English education student like us to understand how important to choose the right course book for teaching. The writers also explained that a course book is not only a teaching tools, but also something that can influence student learning, experiences, classroom activities, and also learning outcomes. That the purpose of this book guide readers to understanding how to evaluate course book, how to identify a good teaching materials, and how to select books that are suitable for student needs. So who should actually read this book? After I read this book highly recommended for future English teachers like us, also English education student like us too, and teaching assistant or even professional teachers. Why? Because teachers work closely with teaching materials every day, and sometimes teachers rely too much on textbook without checking whether the materials are actually suitable or not. And this book made me more careful to choose a handbook or course book. So because instead of choosing a textbook randomly, teachers can choose book that truly support learning goals of the class. Now let's talk about what is actually inside the book. The book contains several chapters discussing an important aspect of English teaching materials and course book. And one important topic discussed in this book is how to select course book properly. The book explained that teachers should understand student uh, the teachers before choosing the book. For example, teachers need to know student level of English, and also learning objective, and also classroom situation and student difficulties. In several parts of this book also explain that teachers can evaluate materials by asking a question similar like what is the purpose of the material, who are the learners, and why is the materials important, and how can the material help students learn effectively. This helps teachers understand whether a course book is suitable or not. So the book also discussed language content such as grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and language use. Besides that, the book explained how course book teach important language skill like listening, speaking, reading, and also writing. And uh, this book also discussed adapting materials. The male teachers sometimes need to modify textbook because not all materials match student needs. For example, if a textbook activity is too difficult for a student, teachers can simplify the instruction or replace the activity with something more suitable or more easy. So this book not only explanatory but also provide practical teaching ideas. That's so interesting. And now uh, why I choose this book, actually because uh, a lot of strength of this book. Like the first strength of this book is this book very comprehensive. As an English education student, I realized that teaching is not only about mastering grammar or speaking English fluently, but teachers also need to understand how to choose learning materials carefully. The book discusses many important aspects for English teaching materials, not only grammar or vocabulary, but also about teaching skills, about teaching methodology, and also about evaluating the materials and adapting course book to the class. This makes book very informative for me. And the second strength is that the book is really practical and realistic. The Alan Alan doesn't only explain theories, but also gives example that related to classroom situations. So this book helped me to understand how how important to choose a course book, because the wrong course book can affect student motivation, participation, and also understanding. For example, the book explained that teachers should consider student abilities before selecting materials. That's true, because every classroom is different. And the third strength is that the book encourages teachers to think critically. I also choose this book because actually the discussion is very relevant for me, for us as a future teachers. That since we will teach students in the future, we need to know how to select materials that are effectively suitable and also meaningful. Sometimes uh, teachers only follow textbook without evaluating them, but actually this book teach me as a reader to analyze whether the materials is suitable, useful, or effective for my student soon. And I think this is a very important skill for us. So because this book gives very so that I believe that this book is worth to read and match with us as a future teachers. And beside the strength, this book also have several weakness. The first weakness is that some part are too academic. Like there are many educational terms and long explanation that may be difficult for me as a beginner, like uh, about teaching methodology, and subchapters may feel complicated but it's okay. And the second weakness is the appearance of the book or a book layout uh, feel bored, because there is a more um, text, so much text, and less uh, attractive and contents. And as a result, me as a reader may feel bored while reading. And the third weakness is that the book contains more explanation than interactive activities. So who prefer practical exercise may need an additional resources. But however, even though the book has several weaknesses, the information inside is still very valuable and useful for us as a future teachers. Now, the most important uh, from this book is, why should you read this book? I think this book is very important because it teaches us something that many people often ignore it. People usually think teaching English is only about explaining grammar or vocabulary, but actually it's more than that. Selecting the right teaching materials or the right course book is also very important, because a good course book can help students learn more effectively, feel more motivated, and participate actively in the class. This book also helps future teachers understand how to make better decisions when choosing the materials. And the last is about what I got from this book is that choosing your course book or handbook or the main book for the English classroom is a very informative and valuable book for teachers and English education students. This book explain how to choose suitable course book, evaluating teaching materials, understand student needs, and adapt materials effectively. So if you want to become a more critical, creative, and professional English teacher, I highly recommend this book. And thank you for listening. Bye bye.